Class. It's Mr. Creighton. So we are going to get back into drawing this week. So I'm going to give a quick mini presentation just to kind of remind you guys what we're going to be tackling and the terms you need to know. So just write down these terms in the back of your sketchbook, and then we'll draw right after that. So drawing 101, so we will draw things similar to what's on the screen. We'll kind of build up to that, but we will start it out simple. So right away, the first thing we have to tackle is what is drawing in the first place. Drawing is the art of representing an image or object on a dry surface in a detailed way. Drawing is the art of representing an image or object on a dry surface in a detailed way. And the major difference between that uh, in a sketch is really the quality of it, the idea of making it as detailed and polished and finished as possible. And that's what we're going to be striving towards eventually. And drawings have something called high craftsmanship, and you can see that in the three images below the definition. So craftsmanship is using skill, knowledge, and care. So using the skill set you've learned and then applying that knowledge. So if you know you should be using guides to help you keep things in place, then use those guides because that's the knowledge you've learned to make you successful. And then care. Are you doing this slowly? Are you paying attention to what you need to do so you're not rushing through it so that way it's a high quality image? So craftsmanship is using skill, knowledge, and care. And again, just like any other presentation, find the red word, so find that term, and then the bold black definition. So that's the only things you need to write down. So a sketch, and that's what we're really going to be focusing on over the course of this week and building up to finalized drawings. But a sketch is a rough or unfinished drawing. A sketch is a rough or unfinished drawing made to assist with finished drawings. So we practice sketches to get us ready for the real thing. We practice sketches to get us ready for the projects. We practice sketches to get us ready for those major grades. So, and also to really get us ready to have a higher skill set. So a sketch is like the practice, and the real drawing is like the game. So a sketch is a rough or unfinished drawing made to assist with finished drawings. And that's important because sketches help you plan out the drawings and record information. It helps you build up skills. It helps you become more comfortable, more confident. So sketches are super important, and you're going to do that today. So traditionally, you can sketch one of two ways, especially if you're not adding value. And one way to sketch is a modified contour drawing. So modified contour is creating a drawing through continuous lines. So modified contour is creating a drawing through continuous lines. So there isn't any value to show the shape in the form. The form is the volume of the object, so making it look 3D. We're doing that just through our lines only. So again, modified contour is going to be creating a drawing through continuous lines. And then a blind contour is creating a contour drawing without looking at the paper. A blind contour is creating a contour drawing without looking at the paper. And you might think, Mr. Crane, again, why would I do that? Because we've done that a little bit in the past. One reason why you do that is it forces you to look at the object. It forces you to see the shapes of the object. It forces you to see the size of the object. And that's something that we forget a lot of the times. We need to see the object in order to draw it. We need to see it accurately in order to draw it accurately, and that's important. All right, so we're just going to focus on a couple more terms. So anytime you draw, you start with the exterior contour. Remember, we observe, and that's where kind of blind contour drawings come into. But then we draw either the largest shape or the outside shape. If you look at that bird on the left, in this case, we're drawing the larger shapes because the head's a large shape and the body's a large shape. Clearly, the legs are not very large, and neither is the tail. So you draw the largest shapes Or if you have one major shape, draw the outside. So outside lines of a drawing. And that's important because the exterior contour can help you establish the initial shape of your object. This gives you a starting point for your drawing. And then especially if there are no clear exterior shapes, draw the largest one. Like in the case of the pears and the apples on the right side, draw the largest one. And then, of course, we work our way to the interior contour, and that is always important. The interior contour is the inside lines of a drawing, and some students forget to do these. And when you do that, you get that object that is in the center. We don't know what those are. Those could be oranges, apples, tangerines, plums, tomatoes. We don't know because there are no inside details. And so the inside details help you establish the details of a drawing so that your drawing resembles that specific image or object. It helps your drawing feel finished, and that's super important. So in your sketches today, you need to include the exterior contour and the interior contour. So you need to observe the shapes, draw the outside or the largest shape, and then work your way to the inside details. You must have those things in order to make your drawing feel polished and finalized. And then lastly, proportions. Your drawing should have proportions. That means size relationships between parts or one part to the whole thing. You must have size relationships between parts or one part to the whole thing. That's important because let's say if you draw a bottle and that bottle is a small spout and a large base, but you draw the spout too large, the bottle will not look very accurate. So that's why it helps or not helps. That's why it's so important to observe your object first and then compare them. So if you're drawing a light bulb, which you know that's coming, observe the top curve and compare it to the bottom curve so you can see how large it is in comparison to the bottom curve. So compare your shapes. Proportions are the key to making sure your drawing resembles the object or image you are looking at. Using guides, which we'll break down later this week, keep your proportion accurate, and that is so important. So those are our terms today, and then you will work on your drawing.